Well, welcome to outside the shop. It has been pretty cold, so I have been working in the shop, but on smaller stuff, and when I'm running the heater, it's kind of loud, so I haven't been really recording anything. But I did have some questions about the wood that I make, because I mill up a lot of little logs and little stuff just to have boards to play with. So I'm just going to go through the two ways that I've done it, the older way and the newer way. Older way, get yourself a maul, split some wood. Newer way, get yourself a chainsaw, cut some wood. So I'll go through the process of turning a log like this pecan or this oak back here into boards. Step one, split it. Really only one split's what you need. So this has been broken off. I'll now have to take this, I'll probably take a hatchet inside and cut it down just to square that up and maybe plane it off a bit. And then I'll start from there with this board. The other way, so I'm just cutting up some smaller logs, so I'm going to do something called noodling, which is cutting it across the grain here. Well, not across the grain, because this is across the grain, but with the grain. So you're splitting the log in half, taking out long strands. And it creates these long noodly bits instead of fine shavings. So I'll be cutting through that. And you can do it with a chainsaw mill, which I do have, and I could hook up to this, but these are way too small to use it on. So I'll be using that on some logs that I have in the yard later. But right now I'm just going to show smaller rounds that you might get or might find in the log pile. Just a couple minutes there, you've cleaned up a lot of these logs. I now have a flat side, semi-flat, to run on the bed, something right up against the fence. I can start turning these into little project pieces. All right, on to the next part. I'm just gonna clean up this edge a bit here, and just kind of draw a line I can follow. I'm just trying to split that off. If you got yourself a fro, which I don't have, you could just knock that out. But again, with a chainsaw, this is not square, but much easier, much flatter sides to work with. Just a little bit of cleaning off some of this stuff. then I could, you know, throw that through the planer and start squaring up all the edges. And again, something like this, probably not 100% square, but I'll put, in the next part, I'll show you how to clean those up. Ready to get cut up, so I'll take a look here. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, flip, and then 1, 2, 3, something like that. Quarter saw it, and those will be my boards. They'll probably be a little bit thicker than this, so I might only get the 3 instead of the 4. And with the kerf, I should get somewhere in the 3 there. I like to overcut them a little bit because I know I will cut them down usually to a 1/2 inch or less. But I'll overcut them so for planing and, you know, drying and other stuff like that, I have some extra material so when it moves, I'll at least get some thinnish boards. Now over at the table saw, a dead simple jig. It's just a piece of wood, straight side, square to the back, little stop. Put that in there. Get my log. Kind of have to have a square side on the back here. This is the one that we hit with the Maul, kind of plane down. Now we're just going to go send it through, and I just got to hold it here, push it past this blade. Because I'm using the table saw, I'm limited to the height of my saw blade here. If I had a band saw that was bigger, that would be better, because then I could rip taller boards. But I don't, so this is what I use. Go over far enough, so this did not get all the way through, so I'll probably have to take my hand saw and cut that down the rest of the way. Now for the ones I did with the chainsaw, I have that square side already. Might not be 100%, but it's enough for me to square this up. And just a little bit of cleaning up at the edge here. But now I have this board squared up on this face. I'll clean that up at the planer, but they're all square to each other, parallel to each other. And now I can start the process of ripping it down. Because this one's a little bit taller, I'm going to try and figure out if I can cut off some of this just to make them a little bit shorter so I can keep the wall in there. I'll try and cut back this way, but let me clean up that corner first, just with probably just the same process. Chisel, knock that off, clean it up, be good. Alright, I'll just pass through that bottom part and just took off a little bit off the bottom. That way it's shorter, so I can start cutting these. I'm going to cut them at about 3/4 of an inch, just so I have a lot of extra after it goes through this and the planer. Take off another, probably 1/16 of an inch, maybe more, and then after drying and planing again. Yep, so that's what we deal with. And there we go. Some pecan boards. So again, I can use it with the live edge one on some projects, or I can rip this down again. I'll have some really thin boards for some other projects, but this is where I get small, locally sourced lumber to make little projects with. Yeah, so I'll do a lot of those and make up some boards. Yeah, that is it. That is all.